what a baseball game last night.
Absolutely incredible. I'm not sure what the most memorable thing from it is. The home run, the pitching performance, or the fact that it was over in 2.5 hours. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to remember the most.
Started earlier than we expected, Michael Borky. It ended in a hurry. It was a fast-paced game. The pitching performance last night was incredible. Riley Maddox goes 7 innings with 7 strikeouts, no walks last night. The best he has looked at any point all season long. That was on the Ole Miss side of things. And then you get Brooks Auger, who draws the start for Mississippi State. 8 innings, 13 strikeouts. He had more strikeouts than he had called balls in the game. 12 pitches were called balls. He had 13 strikeouts, goes 8 innings, gives up the 1 earned run, the solo home run from Will Furnace in the 5th inning, ends up not factoring in the decision, but it was a spectacular pitching performance.
Yeah, it was. And I think the phrase pitcher's duel is a little bit overused, like in football, right? Just because a lot of points weren't scored, it doesn't mean that great defense was played. Sometimes in baseball, if runs aren't scored, it doesn't necessarily mean you've got dominating pitching performances. That was a true pitcher's duel last night. A couple of guys, and you know what I loved about both of them? How emotional they were. And I mean that positively. They were locked in. Every pitch mattered, and every out, the intensity that they both showed as they were just running through the opposing lineup was awesome. I'm a big runs guy. I'm a big points guy. I didn't need that last night. That was fun to watch.
And you know what? I think part of the reason was because both of those pitchers had a great rhythm. They had a great pace to them. Whether you're talking about Maddox for Ole Miss or Auger for Mississippi State, it was throw the pitch, get the ball back, toe the rubber, throw the pitch again. It wasn't a deal. I mentioned to you when Liam Doyle came in the game, hey, Dad, we were sitting together at the game last night. I was like, yeah, oh, wow. His pace on the mound is so different from what we've seen. It's kind of the case with Harden and Davis that came in for Mississippi State late in the game. They kind of slowed things down. To some degree, that naturally happens when you get into that tight of a game that late in the ball game. But I thought the rhythm that both guys pitched with lended itself to, even though no runs were being scored, just a very watchable baseball game.
I mean, when you're pitching with confidence, you want the ball back, you want to get it back out, and you want to keep things going quickly. And both Maddox and Auger were doing that. You know, Auger, I can't help but wonder if State had been winning that game going into the 9th inning instead of losing, do they make a change? He'd only thrown 78 pitches. He might have been good for another inning. I don't know. You and I both noticed his velocity was down a little bit there in the 8th, but he was able to get through that. But that's an all-time pitching performance for Mississippi State. That's in the same. You know, is it the same as Bednar and Sims in the national championship? No. But whatever that
Stakes weren't quite as high.
Right. But whatever that next tier of games is, that's where that game belongs. An unbelievable game from Brooks Auger. And if you're a Mississippi State fan today, you're looking around, you're going, wait a minute. If that's what Brooks Auger can give us, and we still have Kyle Steven and Gerangelo and Nate Domas getting healthy, and we've seen a little bit more from Pico Khan, they could make a run. They could make a run. But I still think the hosting issue is up in the air. I think they still need to find another win here in Hoover to be locked into that. But they took a big step last night.
Ole Miss had a total of 3 hits in the game. Luke Hill in the leadoff spot had 1 hit. Jackson Ross had 1 hit. Will Furnace had a solo home run. That was it. Mississippi State had a total of 4 hits in the game. David Mershon had 1. Connor Hyzak obviously had the big one at the end of the game. There was 1 for Amani Larry and 1 for Logan Kohler. In terms of walks, Mississippi State got 1. Now, it turned out to be the difference in the ball game. And, you know, it was kind of you juxtapose the top of the 9th and the bottom of the 9th against each other, and it's the difference in the game, right? I mean, Ole Miss has an opportunity with a leadoff walk. It was a 4-pitch or maybe a 5-pitch leadoff walk in the top of the 9th inning. A perfect bunt to get the runner in scoring position, but then you go pop out strikeout to end the inning and leave a runner stranded at second. Mississippi State, they get the leadoff walk. Walk me through the rest of the
Dakota Jordan strikes out.
How did he get to third base? Was it on a throwing?
The pickoff play.
That's right, the pickoff play that got away at first base. So he gets the leadoff walk. Trying to pick him off, he goes first to third on that play. Dakota Jordan strikes out swinging. Hunter Hines hits an absolute rocket to actually, okay, let me back up real quick. The pickoff play that got away got him to second, and then the rocket, could not hit it any harder. It was a good play by Will Furniss at first base. He goes over, steps on the bag. That gets Larry to third base. David Rashawn. I'm just making stuff up as we go now. Trying to forget it in real time. Maybe, I don't know. Rashawn's hitting at third base, and the first pitch that Connor Hyzak sees, clearly it got too much of the plate. But it was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that was outer third. But he was looking for a fastball. You listen to the post-game interview. Hyzak says, coming back from an injury, I'm looking for a fastball over the plate, hopefully somewhere around the belt. That's what I got. And he didn't miss it. We talk about hitting pitches versus missing pitches all the time. The difference in that being a home run that was 109 miles an hour off the bat and travels almost 400 feet into the bullpen, and it being a high pop fly to left field that ends the game. We're talking about Ole Miss winning. It's half an inch, quarter of an inch on the barrel of the bat, but he absolutely centered it up, and it got out of here in a hurry.
I remember when State and Ole Miss played basketball at the Pavilion, when State had the timeout down or tied it, or they were down 2. You sent me a text and you said, this is going to end with Hubbard hitting a 3. And I'm positive of it. And, of course, that's not what happened. How positive were you that Dakota Jordan was going to end that game last night and before he struck out?
Well, if I didn't have somebody next to me talking about the fact that he wasn't going to – he was like – I don't want to out you, but the clutch gene you didn't think was strong.
That discussion was being had.
Let's see here. I just wish there had been a camera on Richard and Haydad last night. It would have been so good, LOL. You actually would not have seen a lot of reaction from me. I didn't throw anything in disgust. I didn't have tears running down my face. I just kind of stood there and watched it. I think Obi was yelling, "Get down, ball." He and I were talking as we were walking out of the stadium. He said, I was really hoping they were just going to hit a fly ball to the outfield to catch it for the game to end. And I was like, yeah. He's like, and then when he hit it, I was like, hey, I got my wish. And then I kept watching. He was like, I didn't get my wish. It was a fly ball to the outfield, but it kept on going. So my reaction was pretty low-key. Brian Haydad, on the other hand,
was not low-key.
I told him, Borky, that he probably would be hearing from my attorney for the assault that he committed on my right shoulder. I don't know why he felt the need to touch me in that moment. Ball is hit, and his hand goes to my shoulder, and Brian Haydad starts jumping around like a fourth-grade preschool girl. And he's like wooing. He's like, as he jumps up and down.
Was it Haydad, or was there a feral hog in the area?
I mean,
they're playing right now.
Yes.
I did have a funny moment. So we were in CC down there, right? And there's a little patch of State fans in the section over in BB. Mm-hmm. So I make my way over there, and we're jumping up and down. And this one guy, he grabs me. He goes, "Does this mean you won the bet?" Yes. And he won the bet. They all start celebrating that I won the bet.
There are times, I think, to some degree, where all three of us wonder, is there anyone out there?
Oh, they're listening.
Is anyone listening?
They're listening.
And then you have little things that remind you, people are not only are they listening, they're paying attention, they're keeping score, they're making some notes along the way. Twitter was pretty quick to remind us that, congratulations to you for winning the bet. You got that in real time here at the ballpark. Forgive us, by the way, for walking off and leaving you last night. We kind of walked out together, but the number of bro hugs and high fives that you were engaging in, Obi and I just decided not to wait.
I got it.
He got to the RV park, Borky, where our SuperTalk bus is, after the 5 or 10 minutes after Obi and I did. I was like, hey, sorry we left you. He's like, it's okay. I understand.
Yeah. Because I did. Quite a few listeners were happy to see me.
I'm not trying to make this all about Obi, but it was just kind of a neat father-son moment as we were walking out last night and discussing the game and talking about it. And I thought my man's perspective was pretty good. He's like, well, that stinks. Time to get ready for football.
There it is. That is what every Ole Miss fan should be saying.
That is way out of here. Big fly for Cole Messina, his second home run of the game. He is 3 for 4.
That's a 2-run job, too.
A 2-run jack in South Carolina, back on top of Arkansas. 104 miles an hour off the bat, hit it 419 feet to straightaway center field.
That ball was smoked.
This fight song haunts my dreams.
There you go.
Go Cox.
Yeah. Oh, and the Clemson spelling, and oh man, I mean, just my whole life I heard that.
Wow.
And, terrible.
I think we thought we were going to see Arkansas, Kentucky tomorrow, but we may see that in the losers bracket the way this is going. That's crazy.
Advantage Arkansas?
Oh, definitely. They'll throw Hagen Smith. They want to get another win.
Let's see, I was just looking at the C-Spire text line. Somebody said USM in a battle. Not sure if you guys can see
it's
it.
5-0 now.
Oh, they opened it up
with a 3-run bomb to open it up, yeah.
So you get the 2-run double for Slade Wilkes, and the Nick Monastery gives Southern Miss some breathing room with the 3-run shot.
That's ending the inning as well. So they are going to the top of the 9th. USM 3 outs away from a win.
Man, and just like a couple months ago, Coastal was looked at as like the best team in the Sun Belt. Southern Miss is going to have their hands full when it comes to Coastal. Look out for Coastal. They swept them and are now possibly going to end their season.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina would probably prefer not to see Southern Miss anymore after this one. C-Spire text line, have you guys decided if you're going to do the show, do the show from Hoover tomorrow as well, or does it depend on if State wins tonight? We will not be in Hoover tomorrow. We actually had to make a logistical decision before we came over. I was going to have to leave on Thursday regardless, and we just said, look, let's be there for the first 2 days of the tournament. Let's kind of bring that flavor to our listeners, and then we'll get ready for postseason baseball next weekend. So we will be watching from home just like you tomorrow, but certainly we will be with you for more Sports Talk Mississippi.